Hi everyone. Sorry about the delay again. As usual, had some work at office and we are here. So today we will be looking into what we can do with the front end side of things, and that's what we are going to do today. And without further delay, for those people who are coming for the first time, how many of you are here for the first time? Hey, we have Sundar Pichai on the start of the stream. That's great. Hey man, how are you? Hey, I really would like to know your original name. What is your original name? Just tell once, right? So right, okay, cool. So what we are going to do now is we are in this exciting phase of like adding the front end magic, the bootstrap magic, and we have already done a lot of things in the front end as well so far. And this is the 6th day, which means you have got to catch up about like 6 different episodes, because we start from zero, right? So arrays are like starting from zero. So I'm going to share my screen once again, and then let's start with what all the plans that we are having today. So that is what is going to happen today, and here's my screen. So this is what I have been doing so far. Like we have just added the bootstrap theme using the boot swatch, and we are going to do the submit handler today. Whatever happens, we are going to finish it today and take a small screencast of whatever happened, and then we will be putting it on our socials. And this is what we will be achieving today. Okay, so any questions before we go? Hi Afnan. Sundar, you can actually tell it to me secretly on WhatsApp or something like that, or maybe send it through Gmail. You own the Google, man. Then what else? Hey Karthik. Hi Afnan. Hey Harkirat. Okay, so we have got a couple of people already here, and let's start. So I'm going to first go into the client, and then I'm going to start the server. So I'm going to do npm start, but before that I need a new window. So let's go on with this. And instead of this, remember I was doing something yesterday here. So if I go back to our terminal, there is this particular button which will actually split the terminal. Let me show you how the button looks like. So I got it here. So this button will actually split the terminal. So clicking on this button, I get another terminal. So now I'm going to put go into the client. No, I'm already in the client. So I'll go into the server and do an npm start to run the server on port number 5000. Okay, so these are the two things that I do basically here. And we have got something like this so far, right? So we have got a login and registration form already, and they are all connected components as well. So if you type in something like this is username and this is very secret password, you can actually see all these things, right? So all these things are in the states, and they are correctly going into the username and password of the login form. So if I click on the login button, I need to fire a thing which actually runs the whole stuff. Like it takes in these values and it needs to do something about it. Okay, so that's what we are going to do. So it's all about React now, and React, and then we will also do a bit of a backend as well. Okay, so far any questions? Cool. So let's go on with the next stuff. So what we are going to do here is, so we already have got our app.js here. App.js has got the handle form change and other things. And here we will check quickly if there is any changes in the Git. Git seems to be fine. And we need to handle the form handling. So when we try to run something, so at this point of time is what we should be calling our service calls. So service calls are those one which goes to the backend to call things. Okay, so the first thing that I'm going to do here is, let me start with how should I go. So login and register, all these things have okay, so since we have the handle form change here, I'm going to do handle submit. Okay, so this will take the form as well, and then actually let it take just the form. So based on whether it is if form is login, else if form register. So based on this, will be doing something totally different. Okay, so I'm going to do a console.log this dot state dot forms dot login. The same way I'm going to do here forms dot register. Okay, so if I do this way, and before that, without further delay, I also need to do something else. So these both form stuff need to, okay, should we just do it in the normal way? Let's not complicate things. That is what we started in the initial attempt, right? So handle login takes an event, does something. Then we have handle registration. Okay, so it also takes an event. Both the things we are going to do event dot prevent default. Prevent default will prevent the whole form or whole page from reloading the whole thing. So that is what we are going to do. And we'll just do a window dot alert saying called button or something like this. Okay, so that we know that this has been called correctly. So in our okay, so we have got the dummy functions for login and registration form submission. So we saw two things, right? One is why are we preventing the default event, and second thing is how we are going. We are just going to differentiate between these two things. I don't remember what is the second one which I was talking about. Sorry about that. Okay, so here we have got form handle form change, etc. And what about handle form submit? Okay, this is the new thing that we will be adding here. The same way, I'll go to the register and I'll add the same thing here as well. So we have handle form submit on both the things. And in this form, we are going to do on submit. It's going to do handle form submit. So this is the common thing that we will be adding to both login and register forms. Any questions so far? Hey, Videsh Patel, how are you? Okay, so let's go ahead. And so now we have got these two things, right? So handle form submit and handle these two things. So we will be passing these data, passing to these handlers to this one. So if we try to do handle form submit, so we have got this. So this would be for login. This is going to be handle login, and this is going to be handle registration. Okay. Should we make it as handle register, something like that, so that it is smaller? Okay. So these are the two things that we did. And so passed the functions to login and register pages. Okay. So it's supposed to be components. I'm just making as pages. Sorry about that. So if I do like hello world or something like that and press enter, I call the login button. I click on this one, it says call the login button. The same way if I do hello and press enter, call the registration button as well. Okay. Now we have got all these things done. So another thing that we are supposed to do is this enter button will be calling the service call, right? So before that, what should happen is this particular button should not be enabled to call unless and until the whole thing is working fine, or if you have given the correct inputs. Okay, so this is something which we need to look into. Right. So let's try to do the same thing again. So the first thing is this login button should be disabled. How are you going to disable this login button? Let's see. So if you are going here and button, if I put disabled equal to true and save it, you can see that this is actually disabled. We need to also visually show that this button is disabled or something like that, but that's a different story. Let's look into that. So we do have this forms, right? So we have this forms, we have the form dot thing and stuff like that. This is the validation, we can call it as. So let's try to see what exactly is happening inside the forms. So what are we sending the forms? So forms dot register. So inside the register or login, we have got these things, right? Username, password, all these things. So for login, we just need only two things. One is the username and another thing is the password. And both of them should be at least 3 characters in big. Okay, so 3 characters in length. So let's try to put that thing here. So forms.username.length. We should also trim it because people can put a lot of spaces and do things, right? So trim dot length is greater than 3, and the same way the password's length should also be greater than 3. Dot password dot trim dot length. Okay, so at this point of time, this looks wrong to me. So okay, this looks really wrong to me because disabled should be the opposite of these two things. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the negation symbol here. So if I type in this one, and if I type in this one only, at least if this is 3, oh, that is not right. Oh, sorry. Okay, I forgot the 3. So if I type in 3 characters at least, 4 characters at least, only then the login screen will be, the login button will be active. Okay, so that is something which we are working on. So this is the thing that we did. The same way we have to do the same thing for this person as well, for register as well. So here we are going to do the same thing. Disabled forms.username.trim. This one is .trim. Then we have the confirm pass as well. So we need to do something about the confirm pass. So what we will do is, before that we have to have the full name as well. So let's try to use the full name. What is this full name, by the way? So what does the full name mean? Yes, full name, and then we have role. Now where is the confirm password part? We totally forgot about the confirm password part. Should we even have the confirm password part, by the way? You tell me. Should we have the confirm password or not? Hey Pavan, nice to meet you here. How many of you say yes for confirm password? How many of you say no for confirm password? By the way, is my voice and audio clear? Sorry, voice and video clear? Why am I blabbering? All right, cool. So let's just directly go for this one. So we'll not use the confirm password for now, and we are just looking at the length is greater than. We have student and mentor, so that should be at least 5. So student is greater than 5, and this one is greater than thing. So let's get rid of this one. So you have something like this. So until this one is okay, 4. Okay, 4 characters. So we have this one, we have this one, we have to have this one, and we should select this or this. You cannot have it in this way. Something like that. What we can do is we can also do disabled here, or disabled and select. Okay, you can't use selected here, so it will be disabled. So you won't be able to, once you click on student or mentor, you won't be able to reset this. So that is the cool part about having a disabled selector. So right now we have got the buttons disabled. So buttons, the made submit buttons disabled until valid input given. Okay, so this is what we have done so far. Now the next thing is calling the service calls. So we already have our APIs running on the background, right? So we don't need this huge okay, should we have it or not? Let us have it for some time. Okay, so we should be having a console.log. We were having a console.log already, right? So where is the console.log? Okay, it is not here. I'm pretty sure we had a console.log. Okay, there is nothing. It's just my mind, I guess. Okay, so first thing that we are going to do is we are going to try to check the username and password. So where are we getting the username and password? So we are going to get the username and password from this.state.forms.login, and let's do console.log username comma password and save it. Oh, so many things. Where? Where does this come from? You provided a value prop to a form field without an on-change handler. Okay, I guess since I'm using the forms on change default handler, so there are multiple ways you can do the on change. So there is a form on change here. So there is also something like this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a dummy change, but let's do it later. So the first thing is I need to find out, okay, let's leave this part here. So let's go and create the dummy handlers here. So const on change dummy. So this is a dummy handler. Okay. Now this on change dummy is going to go as a on change handler here. Okay. So this will actually prevent a lot of things here. So we will do the same kind of a technique in our login as well. So on change dummy, it's going to go to the first line, and then here on change, we're going to go with on change dummy. Okay, so the moment I save it, I refresh the page. Did you mean class name? Oh my god, this is so bad. Did I put class somewhere? Yes. Okay, so class name, I believe that's the same thing with this as well, class name. So we should never have any warnings in our things. We still have a lot of issues. Okay, so invalid DOM property class. So it is in the register. Believe it should be for the select. Yep. Okay, so clear everything. Try running it. Value to a prop. Value prop to a form field without on change. Either on change or read only. Where did I do this? So this is in the card. Okay. This would be really tough to understand where exactly this is going on. At select, this is supposed to be select. Okay. I thought we had a select. Okay. I guess we need to do the on change dummy again here as well. On change dummy. And then this should actually work fine. No errors. So far there is no errors. If I try to change any roles or something, is it working? Everything works as well. And if I try to change something here, I could see all these things are getting filled. This one is getting filled as well. So these are a couple of mitigating circumstances. So in case if you want to mitigate something, how are you going to do it? So these are the things that you would be working on. So whatever I'm teaching here, Viresh, they are mostly asked in the interviews as well. That is the main idea behind taking this full stack course as well. Okay. So I hope that was clear. But yes, that's a good idea. I'll try to do some kind of a mock interview kind of a thing. And so that's what I see here. So yes, so I'll do these things as well. So that would be a great idea, Viresh. Thank you. Thanks for that idea. Okay, so let's go ahead and do the next one. So now what we are going to do here is, so we have got to this level, right? So now we are in the terms of creating the service calls. But before that, we just created the on change dummies. So let's try to add them. Add a dummy on changes, dummy on change event listener, and we have also done something else, which is we created fixed all the errors. Okay, so that's been done. The next thing is handle login. So we are getting the username and password from this. The same way, we are also supposed to get all these data as well. Okay, so let's copy all these things and let's do const. Let's add these things, comma. Register. And let's do the same thing here. We'll be using these roles and all these things inside this. Now, if I try to open the console, and in the console, if I type something like hello world and login, I could get username as hello, password as well. If we put the same hello world and press enter, and nothing will happen because this is all these things are not filled. So I'm going to do this only then this becomes normal, and then pressing enter, you get hello world full name and student. So we got all these things. So remember what we did in our app or server.js or user.js to be specific. Now we are trying to get, this is users, right? So we need auth. So in the auth, we are getting username and password. And in the register, we are getting username, password, name, email, and role. We forgot the email part. So let's go back to our app.js, and in our registration part, after the username, let's try to do email as well. Okay. So if I save this, it's going to go email here. Let's add this alone. Added email field in front end. Okay, cool. So now we can also do one more thing. We can also get the confirm password as well. Conf pass. So you get conf pass here, or maybe we can just do confirm password. And then in this part somewhere, we are planning to get username, password, email as well, right? Username, email, password, or like, yeah. So we get username, email, password, etc. Right. So now we have got all these things perfectly added here. So we added confirm password field as well. So how are we going to do the confirm password here? So when we are trying to do something here, at this point of time, we will also do forms dot password. Okay, forms dot. Okay, let's get rid of this one. Trim dot length is not trim. Password forms dot conf pass. Okay, so if I do this way, now look at what's happening. So we get the confirm password window here. So I put something. Okay. So now I do get that all these things are filled, but still I can't register because confirm password and password will not match each other. So what I need to do is I just need to change this one to this one or this one. Still I can't. But why? Interesting. It's because it's not confirm password. It's confirm password. Okay. So if I try to do something like this, password has changed and this will not go. So if I correctly have these two passwords correctly, and then this works. And I need to also make this particular thing as confirm password. So instead of using this particular thing, what I would do is, since I know that this password is a part of the label dot index of password is greater than 1, -1 is greater than -1, then do the password. So this becomes normal password field again. Okay, so this is something which I prefer doing. Cool. So if I try to register now, it is going to have the username, email, password, full name, role. So if you go back to our auth.js, we have username, password, full name, email, and role. Everything is working perfectly fine. So on the client side, we have done everything what we need to do. Okay. So let me quickly have a look at full name, email, username, password, confirm password would be a nice sequence. So you want me to put the password and confirm password at the end, starting with the full name, correct? Actually a good idea. So let me go back to this one. So full name, email, username, correct? Full name, email, username, password, confirm password. Yep. So that is something which I did. So don't forget the commas and correct things. So that would be really cool. Excellent. So we just made the changes. So let's try to add these things as well. These changes will also work. Let's add this change and let's add this change. So we just added the confirm password field and validation. Okay, cool. So now we have done this perfectly. So once we have done this, the next thing that we will be doing is so I hope this was clear, right? Okay, thanks Afnan for that suggestion. Okay, now what we are going to do is, so we have got all these things perfectly working for us. The next thing is the service calls. Okay, so for all the service calls, what we will be generally doing is the, okay, before that, what did we do here? Password and confirm password are password fields. So for those people who are not sure what exactly is happening, this every change that we are doing that corresponds to one particular entity, we are just making it as a single commit. Okay, and the next thing that we are going to do is we need to call the service calls. Now, if I try to run these things, all these things are perfectly coming. So mocked checking if responses from the forms are working. So they are working perfectly fine. So that is what we did the console.log part. Okay. Now the next thing that we are going to do is calling the service calls. So the first thing that I'm going to do here is I'll go back to our client, stop this. In the package.json, what I'm going to do is, sorry, package.json of the client, I'm going to do something called as proxy. This is going to help me with all the CORS requests. So I'm going to put proxy as HTTPS localhost 5000 for the API calls. Okay. So added HTTP proxy for API calls. So now, what is the use of this one? Let me try running the start button again. And let me show you what exactly happens here. Once it starts, you'll be able to see that this is, yeah, this works. Now, is this front end or back end? Please tell me. Localhost 3000. Is this front end or back end? This is very simple question. You all have to answer it correctly. Come on, folks. How many of you are there? Just 6 people. Can you say hi in the chat? Who are all watching? Let's make 10 likes today. Something like that. That would be super cool. Okay, someone answer me this question. All right, so I'll just answer it myself. It's front end. And what we are going to do here is, if I do a fetch and do /API/users and press enter, gives me you 500 server error. What? Wait, what did I do here? Sorry, it should be HTTP. Damn, so bad. It's my fault. Okay, so now that was actually my fault. Sorry about that. I should have done HTTP here. So, okay, so now we are here. If I do the same thing like fetch/API/users and press enter, it says bad request. Remember where we added the bad request and error not logged in? It was on the back end, not on the front end, right? Now we are able to see the whole thing in the front end as well. This is the main reason why we are using a proxy here. So now what we are going to do is, so since that the backend API is also working here, we can also check how the API is working or not by using a package called as Morgan. So what we will be doing is, okay, so a lot of things we spoke, but we did not make a note of anything. So we created the submit handler for the form. Yes. Added confirm password and validations. Cleared all the errors on the front end, the React errors, by the way. Now we just used HTTP proxy through WDS package.json. What else did we do here? What else we need to do? We need to call this function from this to that. So we need to do the service calls, but before that, we need to do something else as well. So we need to install another component called, okay, used Morgan to track or like log HTTP calls. So what is this Morgan thing? So I'm going to do npm install Morgan. So Morgan is our god. So installed Morgan. And I'm going to go to our server.js and here in our middleware app.use. Okay, we need to also add Morgan to import Morgan, const Morgan, require Morgan and app.use Morgan. I'm going to use the dev here. Okay, so when I save this and try to run this now, implemented the Morgan middleware. Okay, so for any questions? Okay, now if I do the same thing from the front end, see, look at this. This is the front end. We are in HTTP 3000. Okay, and now if I do the same thing here, look at these things, these two things again. So we have got front end here, we have back end here. Okay, pressing this enter, get API users 400, but the server was started in 5000. We are in 3000. Got it? How the whole three things are connected now, and why Morgan is being used here as well. Hey, Monish is here. Hi, Monish. And thank you, Afnan, for making Monish pass the exams. What kind of exams are they? They fraud thanam pannadingada. Crazy. All right. So now this totally works. Okay. So the next thing that we are going to do is we need to start with the service calls. Since we cannot use fetch for everything, we'll be using something called as Axios. So I'm going to install Axios on the client side. So I'm doing npm install Axios. So once Axios is installed, we'll be using that on the client side. Okay. So installed Axios library. Now we will be creating different files for, let me check. So we don't need the server. We don't need the auth. There's also the backend login and register, right? So we need to create a service call for the auth. So auth.js, and then we'll do import Axios from Axios. Okay, so the first thing is export const. Should we start with login? Login. You cannot use login. So login user. So login user, what does it take in? So if you see in our auth.js in the server side, you could see that login is taking two things for the post. It is taking just username and password. Okay, so it's going to take username and password, and then it's going to return axios.post /API/auth/login. Okay, and then it is returning this particular thing, right? But it needs to also take in the username and password here. So we'll just give username and password as the body. Okay, so now implemented Axios service call for login. So the first thing that we are going to do is we need to implement the service call. We have already implemented the service call. So the next thing is we need to go to the app.js and then execute the service call. We know that these username and password is coming here. So I'm going to do login user, and then I'm taking username, password. Then this is a promise. So we need to get a then thing. So it will be a response. So I'm going to do a console.log res.data. So Axios response will always come with a .data thing. So if I clear everything, refresh this page. Okay. Cool. If I do something like, let's say, hello world and press enter, hello is a person, he's not found. Got it? So we got the things coming correctly. Error user does not exist. Cool. So if I put Praveen, I'm pretty sure that this looks fine. Invalid username or password. So we are getting these data as errors from our server side call, right? So what we are going to do now is we will try to do a then thing as well. So res.data came then, or catch. This is the catch thing. And then Axios catch error message. So when you do the delete or like something like that, there is an error, error.response.data, err.response.data. That's what we will be doing. So error clg err.response.data. So let's try the same thing here. So clear everything, type some stupid thing, and then it says error user does not exist, which is perfectly working. And then if I try to do something else, so Praveen, error invalid username or password. So we get the error field here. So we need to do dot error here. Okay. So now this is the data that we will actually require in our login errors. So what I would be doing here is I'll be trying to get the error data and then store it in this one. Cool. So let's try to make it work. So instead of console.log, console logging, I'm just going to put this in the state, this dot set state. Errors. So what is this errors? Const errors. This dot state dot errors. Okay. So errors dot login dot push this one, and then I'm just setting the state as errors. So now if I go to the components, okay, before that, if I do any kind of these kind of things, I need to remove all the errors, right? So const errors is this one. Yes. Then errors.login is going to be nothing. Then I'm doing this dot state errors. Okay, so this is what I'm doing. So first thing, if I do this, I need to check the errors here. It's an array of nothing. Okay, so if I put some value and something and press enter, I get login user does not exist. So if I try Praveen here, invalid username or password. Okay, cool. So everything works perfectly fine. So if I give Praveen and Praveen, which is the correct username and password here, I kind of like get rid of the errors completely. No errors right now, right? So this is exactly what we are going to do now. So handled all the errors in login screen. Okay, so this is what we did just now. Now we need to send these errors to the to this guy. Okay, errors we already sent it here. Now in our login.js, we need to have the error thing coming displaying here. So please, if you have already an account or something like that, then we can actually have if errors dot length is greater than 0, then display all the errors one by one. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a alert danger, and then I'm just going to put errors here. So this is still, it's like a work in progress, right? So it's just a simple thing. So now if I press enter, oh, that works. User does not exist. Invalid username or password. Cool. So this way you will be able to see that whatever we are doing here, it is going to work perfectly fine. So that kind of worked. Implemented the errors in the login screen. Implemented the errors in login screen. So there is not much difference between what we are going to do in the register and this. So we'll go to the register and we'll add it here as well, because we do have the errors here too. Now, the next thing that we are going to do is handling the register part. So we already saw that in this, we did the export const register user. Then this will take in a couple of things. So where are our stuff? These are the things that this will take. Okay. Now it's going to be the same thing, except the call will be different. Username, password, these things, but register. Cool. So now we have got auth created a service call for register. Then here implemented errors in register screen. Okay, now if we go back to our app.js, instead of the console.log, what we will be doing is we will be using the register user here. Register user. So this is the auth service, and it takes username, password, name, username, password, name, email, role. Username, password, name, email, sorry. Email, role. Okay, so this is what it needs to take in. So I'm just going to copy this one, add it here. The same thing, dot, then all these things. Okay, so I'm just going to copy the same stuff here from this and then save it here. Only difference here will be, again, we should clear the errors. So I'm just going to copy these things, add it here. This could be register, and then here register. Clear? So far, any questions? Let's see how it goes. I hope this works. Implemented service calls for register. Okay, cool. Hey, look at this. There are some 200s, there are some 200s, there are some 404s. Everything is here. Excellent. Now, should we try registering for a new user or something like that? Actually, if you register for a new user, then there should be a success message coming in. Success, wait for an email verification or something like that. Or something like that should be coming in. So let's try to do that. Cool. Let's do this. Right. So I told you that by today, in case if we are working on something, we will be able to take a screencast and then do it. So who is here? Whose name should I register with? Please tell me. Anyone who is watching right now who wants to have the username like a user account here, please let me know. Okay, let's go with Monish. So I'm just gonna go back. So it's Monish Basaniwal. Wait, let me just copy his name. It's I know it is a correct name, but still Monish B at google.com. Monish password. So I'm gonna put Monish as the password username. Monish. Role is definitely he's a mentor, and I'm gonna hit the register button. The moment I hit the register button, we need to also show the success messages, right? So in this meantime, let's go check out the network. What is happening? It says 201 created, which is cool. So if we go here, we can see that Monish name is being created as well. Cool, right? So this is the Monish, like the Monish effect. Okay, so since we know that this user has been created, this is actually a good sign here, right? So we need to show this one somehow. Okay, if I try to do the same thing again, username already exists. Cool, that works. So we need to show the username got created or something like that. So we need to show the success messages as well. So success, and we can do the same thing. And let's get rid of this one. Very sorry, Monish, we have to get rid of your name. And so we have got implemented the success structure. So every time when this thing happens, we should be doing errors.login and successes dot login equal to this thing and errors and successes. Then what are we doing here? If this is the case here, let's do successes and rest.data, right? Successes dot login dot push rest.data rest.data dot what? Let's just restore data dot message. Okay, and set state. This dot set state successes, right? Cool. So now this works, right? So not only this we should do, we should also do one more thing, which I will tell what we need to do. So if I type in Praveen, invalid username. Okay, fine. Praveen. So now the successes has been set, but it is not shown anywhere, right? So first we will try to do the login screen now. Okay. Successes equal to this dot state dot successes dot login. I know this could be like a weird way of doing things, but let's try something. And if we go to our login screen, login.js, similar to the errors.length, we are going to do successes. Is this correct? Oh, successes. I know this is the weirdest naming convention I have ever seen. So I'm going to put this one instead of alert danger, it's going to be alert success. Okay. So now if I type Praveen and press enter, what? Oh, Praveen and press enter. Oh, wow. Interesting. Why? I wrote it correctly only, no? Successes.length, successes.login. What is there inside the app? Successes login is undefined. Oh. What did I do? Press the data.message. No? Wait. Successes we have done this way. That should be correct, right? Interesting. So let's try to do this one. Okay, so now if I type in Praveen, let's see in the console what exactly do I get. Oh, perfect. I get something better. So instead of that, what I'm gonna do is push user logged in successfully. Okay, so that's all we need to put. Okay, so if I type in Praveen presenter user logged in successfully, after a few seconds of time, it needs to update it showing the dashboard and some stuff like that, right? So logging you in dot or something like that. Okay, so if I type in Praveen presenter user logged in successfully, logging you in, taking you to the dashboard will be the perfect thing, right? Taking you to the dashboard, something like this. Now, what all things did we change? We added successes for this. We need to add successes for the thing as well, like the registration screen as well. So let's try to do that quickly. Added successes to login screen. So now we are going to do Monish, adding Monish name, and then we will try to add the successes as well. So, damn, we should have done something else. So this one works like this. Okay, so if res.status equal to, this should be 200, right? 200, then this should happen. Something like this, right? So only if it is successful. Added right way. Whatever. Okay. Now for the for this guy. So errors.login we did, errors.register, and successes. Okay, let's do that too. So const successes is equal to this successes dot register will be nothing as well, and then we do successes here too. Now once this one is done, user created successfully is what will happen, right? So we'll be doing the same thing what we did in the error message. So let's start with the successes here. So we'll have the successes. We have successes.register.push, stuff like that. .push rest.data, and then we'll be setting the successes state here. I hope this works. Please make it work. Right. So we don't need the console.log here. So let's see if there are any other console.logs. Excellent. Nothing. So let's see if we can get Monish. Whoops. Sorry. Looks like my screen was completely damaged for some time. So I hope it is working now. So I just changed all these things. So let me show you what exactly I changed. So first thing is I added successes and successes.register in this handle register, like how we have done the errors and errors.register. And then in the set state, I have added errors and successes as well. So here inside the success part of things, I have checked the success part here, register, push the data, and then I added the success because this data is going to be 201 data with user created successfully or something like that. That is the reason I did this. So let me quickly have a look at the, yes, everything is fine. So now it's going to be Monish time. So let me copy Monish name and let's try doing this. Okay, cool. So now we have full name Monish Basaniwal, Monish B at google.com. Username and password is going to be Monish B. And this guy is a mentor. So the moment I click register, I forgot to do one of the most important things. Yes, I know that this actually happened correctly, but the problem here is I forgot to add the registration things. So here in the users.js, login.js, we do have this particular thing called successes, which comes after errors. So let's go back to register. And after the errors, we are going to do the successes. And this one is going to be successes.length equal to big or 0. And we'll add this one. Oh, why? Okay. I guess I messed up something. Did I? Undefined reading length. Which one? Where did I mess up something? Okay. Okay. Success. Okay, I forgot to send the successes here, right? So successes should be here as well. So let's move this to the errors. And then let's do this here, register, and then save it. Now it works. Okay, cool. So let's try to go register as Monish Basaniwal. Let's copy this one. Who's on here, right? Who's online right now? We'll use their name, if not Monish. So what I'm going to do is Monish B at google.com. Let's copy it. Username, password. Role is going to be a mentor. Okay, so if I press the register, rest.data.message. Fine. All right. I missed it. Where is the rest.data.message? So app.js, rest.data. Yep. Dot message. Okay, finally, last attempt. So Monish Basaniwal. No, I'll just copy and paste it again. Why don't I get this name again and again? Okay, so this is the last attempt, and this time it's going to be perfect. So let's do Monish P at google.com. Maybe Google is not willing to hire Monish. Sorry, Monish. I just told something crazy. So he's a mentor, and pressing enter, boom, user created successfully. Please verify the user and then log in or something like that we can do. And pressing enter again, username already exists. Cool. So this is something which we just did. And if we do the same Monish B and logged in successfully and taking you to the dashboard, this is where we will be working together. Okay. So now what we are going to do here is, let's first get rid of this one. And so if I do something, so this error screen and this error screen are completely different components and completely different states. So we just made successes in register component done. Any questions so far? We are going more than an hour right now. Sorry, Monish. I didn't know that you are here still. I thought you left. That's the reason I was saying this. All right, cool. So now we have got our both the things here. Cool. The next thing that we need to do is taking you to the dashboard part. So what do we have here? So if you do the login, it says user does not exist. Banned, you're gone. So if I do this, user logged in successfully. Now, if you see inside our app, so you have not app, sorry, network, you get these datas. Okay. So I don't think there is anything related to, so we do have email, we have gender as null, we have no phone as null, socials, everything is null. And verified as false. So we also need to check if this person is verified or not. So that's also there. So if the verified is false, what we need to do is, before that, let's try to add this thing as well. So user logged in successfully, taking you to the dashboard. Okay, cool. Then after this, what you need to do is, you have the res.data here, right? So let's have a user null initially, and this dot set state user res.data. Okay, now this thing has to happen after a couple of moments. So I'm going to do a set timeout, like say 2 seconds. That is a valid time to look at these things. So what I'm going to do is, okay, before that, before doing these things, yeah, that's fine. User gets logged in after 2 seconds. Okay, cool. Now, how do we know that user needs to be logged in or user needs to be logged out at this point, right? So here, what we are going to do is, this complete row is login row, correct? So what I'm going to do here is, I'm going to put this whole thing, this dot state dot user then logged in as whatever it is, else this one. So logged in as this dot state dot user dot, what would it be, full name? Okay, something like this we put. Okay, so if I'm removing all these things, with this guy we need to remove as well, so we'll remove it later. So Praveen, taking you to the dashboard, 2 seconds, logged in as undefined .a, user dot name. All right, Praveen, enter, 2 seconds, logged in as Praveen Kumar Purushothaman. Cool. So this is super cool. So now the next thing is, you have to do a logout functionality as well. Okay. Yeah, we need to do a logout functionality. Before that, let's get our card. So we can actually do a welcome thing, or else we'll just put a card here. That is the welcome guy. Okay. So this part is card. Welcome to community classroom. Seems like, and we need to do all the other crazy things as well. If this dot user dot verified, then thanks for verifying and becoming a full user. else please verify your account as soon as possible. Check your email for further information. Okay, something like this we have written. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put Praveen, press enter, taking you to the dashboard. 2 seconds. Welcome to community classroom. Please verify your account as soon as possible. Check your email for further information. Excellent. And for the card title, we have logged. Okay, same thing I should be putting. Logged in as. Oh, sorry. Or else we should do welcome state.user.name. Welcome Praveen Kumar Purushothaman, and welcome to community classroom. Please verify your account as soon as possible. Check your email for further information. Cool. So this is something which we just did, and we can get rid of this one. So added a welcome screen. So we need to do the logout as well, right? Totally forgot. So let's add another thing called button. Button.btn.btn danger logout. And on click, it needs to do handle logout. So handle logout, and then if we see this, how it looks like. Sorry about the 2-second delay. It's actually annoying right now. So we have got the logout here. So instead of that, what we can do is we'll give a paragraph here. Let's put all these things here, and then the button will be down there. Okay. So what exactly handle logout does? So go to the auth again and export const logout user. It's going to call just one single thing, which is axios dot is a delete. Let's go to auth.js logout axios.post again. Post / logout dot. That's it. Nothing else. The most simplest thing ever. So it's going to be logout user. Then nothing is going to happen here. Anyway, we'll be getting only one response, which is 204. You just need to this dot set state user null. That's it. Boom. That's it done. So what we are going to do is Praveen enter, logged in successfully. 2 minutes, 2 seconds. Yes, logout is done. So clicking on logout. Something, anything. Why? Handle logout is called, and we are also setting the state here. Okay, so in this case, something is totally messed up. Did I miss this thing? Okay, yeah. Sorry, API / users. Sorry, API / auth / logout. Correct. How did I even miss this thing? So bad of me. Okay, so if I click on this one, what? Okay, not this one. So refresh this page. Praveen logged in successfully, taking you to the dashboard. Logout. It's gone back to this. So the fun part here is we have got this error message still. So what we need to do is we need to clear these both error messages. Errors equal to this one, right? So in simple terms, after the logout is done, this dot set state. Oh, sorry. This dot set state, comma, and add these things as well. So I do Praveen logged in successfully, 2 seconds, get inside this logout, cleared. And these forms need to be cleared as well, which means I literally need to clear everything. So I'm just going to go to the, I'm just going to copy this whole thing. This is the initial state. So I'm just going to put this initial state as a so this is the initial state. And in our stuff here, handle logout, set state as init state. Cool. So now let's try Praveen, login, 2 seconds, logout. Why is it not still logged out? I just made this dot set state initial state, right? Okay, let's refresh the whole page. Let's try one last time. Login, logged in, then user is all completely added. And the success message still stays here. So log out, clicking it, I still have the forms. And if we see here, the init state does contain the forms as well. That's interesting. We need to find out why is this initial state not coming back. So we just implemented the logout functionality. Logout functionality. Still we need to do is like we need to, yes, this is done. Find why the logout isn't clearing the forms. Okay, so this is something that we need to find. Maybe it could be this way. No, I'm not sure. So I don't know why it is not actually happening, because I could see that there are a couple of places where I would have changed the complete contents of the form or something like that. So I just need to make sure I have to. Okay, so serialize and deserialize or unserialize the form data, state data, while state, it's called something state mutation. So we are doing state mutation. That is exactly the problem is, and this should not actually happen. So we should never ever do the state mutation here. So in this case, okay, there is one thing which we can do in an initial part, I believe. Instead of using this one like this, we can try doing this way. But even this will not work, because we are kind of like trying to change it in multiple levels. So we're trying to do the forms as well. Maybe what we can do is forms of form equal to forms of form. This might avoid the state mutation a lot easier way. See, this is one of the most most common interview questions. Why you shouldn't do state mutation and other things. Avoided state mutation, hopefully. I don't know whether this is going to work, but let me try this. So let's try this. Praveen. Okay, logged in successfully. Taking you to the dashboard. Everything is fine. So I got the user. I still have the login functionality here. So click on logout. Boom. That worked. So that's exactly the problem was. It's called state mutation, and that is kind of like so bad on this thing. So yeah, we somehow found it out. And these are a couple of things that you should be aware of as well. So coming back to the stream. So thanks a lot for coming in and attending. So I hope you all learned something new. So Justin Varghese, the reason why we are still using class-based components is like class-based components are very easy to work with, and even now there are like so many legacy systems that use class-based components. Let's say in the simple word, so you are trying to get into a company, let's say like a bank like mine, and here 99% of all the components are class-based components. You are not going to go and do anything that is going to be like ultra modern, ultra latest things. There are all so many legacy systems. Unless and until you're going to a pure perfect product based company that is going with all the latest trends and techniques and stuff like that. So until if you're going to that part, you're good. Or else if you're going to go for the rest, 90% of all the companies are still using class based components with states and all these things. That's the main reason I'm still sticking with states. And even right now when I'm working in my office, I'm working on states and classes and redux, no context, no hooks. We are still using React 14 and stuff like that. So considering all these things, people should know the basics of stuff. Suddenly they said, oh yeah, I know all the React based things, all the latest things. I know how to use TypeScript. And then when you go there is no TypeScript, there is no class based, everything is class based components. There is nothing called as hooks. They don't even know what hooks. So to avoid all these things, I'm just sticking with the class based components. And one more thing is, like, instead of Tailwind, I'm using Bootstrap, because Bootstrap I'm very comfortable with. And with Bootstrap, you can do literally everything. And Bootstrap 5.1 is like really a threat to both Tailwind and Material UI. So I'm really happy with how Bootstrap has gone to that level, and it is actually super cool right now. So that's the reason I'm sticking with Bootstrap again. So thank you so much for being here so long, and sorry about today. It's like it went really huge, and I have pushed all the codes. And don't forget to share, like, subscribe, and tell others that we just did something really cool. So far what we have done so far is, let me quickly do a recap as well. So we created the complete authentication user management part, along with user management, like user login and user registration, using our own stuff. We are not using any Firebase authentication. We are not using any Google authentication. We are not using any other forms of authentication. We are completely using our own authentication, and this is how most of the authentications work as well. So this is something which I wanted to teach you all, and now you know what exactly is happening behind the authentication part as well. So I hope this was not boring or something like that. And I'm open for questions in case if you have any other questions, like how Justin asked like an awesome question: why are we using still class-based components? We are in 2021. I gave the answer. Is there any other questions that you would like me to answer right now? Okay, so I could see that there are not much questions, and thank you so much. Stay safe, stay at homes, follow the local COVID protocols, and tomorrow we will, as usual, meet at 9 p.m. IST. And thanks a lot.